This is a Red FM Vancouver podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe for more great content. For further info, log on to redfm.ca.
WorkSafeBC एक बहुत प्रॉफिटेबल एक ਸਰਪਲਸ ਵਾਲੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ $3 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ $2.9 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਸਰਪਲਸ ਪਿਆ ਸੀ ਅਤੇ BC ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। WorkSafeBC ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ $3 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਹ ਸੱਟਾ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਰ ਗਏ। ਜਦੋਂ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ PPEs ਨੇ ਐਮਪਲੋਇਰਸ ਲਈ ਉਹ WorkSafeBC ਖਰੀਦ ਕੇ ਦੇਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੇਬਰ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਹੈਰੀ ਬੈਂਸ ਜੀ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਸੱਚ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਪੈਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ PPE ਖਰੀਦਣ ਨੂੰ। ਪੈਸੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੱਟਾ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ 'ਚ ਹਾਰ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ, ਸਟਾਕ ਐਂਡ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕਰ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ। ਔਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀ, ਦੋਨੇ ਧਿਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਲਈ ਸੱਦਿਆ ਸੀ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਹੈਰੀ ਬੈਂਸ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਚਿੱਠੀ ਭਿਜਵਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਛਤਾਵਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ ਕਰ ਗਈ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ WorkSafeBC ਹੈ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਹਾਲਤ 'ਚ ਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲੀ ਸਾਊਂਡ ਹੈ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਲੀਡਰ ਨੇ ਐਂਡਰਿਊ ਵਿਲਕਿਨਸਨ, ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਨ। ਮਿਸਟਰ ਵਿਲਕਿਨਸਨ, ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ।
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. You started this actually asking questions about PPEs, that WorkSafeBC should buy it. And the minister has clearly told at that time, that was Friday, that they don't have any money. They lost all the money, around $3 billion in this stock and share market. What is the reality?
Well, the reality is that Harry Baines is either very confused or is just not telling the truth, because the management of WorkSafe came out on Sunday afternoon, which is very unusual, and said Harry was just plain wrong. So Harry's got a lot of explaining to do, and we'll look forward to what he has to say. But we've written now saying we need the Auditor General to look at this. We need to see their investment statements, because their original surplus date was the last day of 2018, and the stock market has actually gone up by 5% since then, if we take yesterday's stock market valuations. So Harry was either making this up or confused. He's got a lot of explaining to do.
Well, I think he was right. He told the truth. Now I think he's being pressurized, and as a result of that pressure, I think he changed his statement, because ICBC has also lost money. Whoever has invested into stock and share market during this pandemic, they lost money, Mr. Wilkinson.
Well, that's actually not true, because the valuation date for their surplus was December 31, 2018. They had $17 billion. Now they have $20 billion. So Harry says they lost $3 billion. No, they gained $3 billion. And the stock markets, as I said, went very low on March 23rd, and they've since gone up by 30%. So the stock markets are not the explanation. Otherwise, Canada Pension Plan would be in trouble, Teachers Pension Plan would be in trouble. None of them are in trouble. Just Harry Baines is in trouble for not telling the truth.
Well, maybe they have invested in a different kind of stock and share market. Like they have high risk or low risk, or, in Asian funds or whatever. What are the agencies that they invest here? All corporations, they invest into a stock and share market, or they have a different kind of fields where they invest?
Well, their required accounting statements say that half of their money at WorkSafe is put into fixed income, so they just get interest payments from that. The other half is in the stock market, and that's run by BC Investment Management Corporation, which is one of the biggest pension funds in the world. That's been a very successful organization, and as the management of WorkSafe says, Harry got it all wrong. Harry's confused or just not telling the truth, because they say that their valuations went down by 5% since the last day of 2019, when the stock market was an all-time high. So Harry needs to explain this. We're going to ask the Auditor General to look into this, because it makes no sense what Harry has said, and his own CEO had to contradict him. So Harry's made a huge mistake here.
Well, that'll be decided later on, because according to the last annual report, WorkSafeBC had a surplus of assets over liabilities. That's the approximately figure. I saw that somewhere. Is it $6.4 billion? What do you think of that figure?
Their last report is now 17 months out of date. We're waiting for the most recent one to come out, which should be any day now, and that should clarify the situation as of December 31 of 2019. when the stock market was an all-time high. So Harry's trying to have it both ways. He's playing games with the numbers, picking certain dates, and he's just plain wrong, and his management told him he was wrong. And you'll notice that the media were chasing Harry around yesterday, and the WorkSafe management, and none of them wanted to be interviewed because he's made a complete fool of himself.
Well, isn't a similar scenario that ICBC became dumpster fire?
Well, ICBC is about the claims being made and the lawyers being involved and so forth. None of that's true in WorkSafe because no lawyers are involved at WorkSafe. It's a no-fault system. So the comparison is not a good one, and the investments at ICBC have now been turned over to BCIMC as well because it's a very responsible asset manager. So the point here is that Harry made this up on Friday afternoon, and for some reason he decided to just go out on his own and do this, and his own management had to tell him he was just plain wrong, and they did that on a Sunday afternoon. They're all trying to avoid the media now because the truth is that Harry has made a significant error here.
Well, isn't this a public money, and how can governments can gamble with that?
Precisely. This money does not belong to Harry Bains. This money does not belong to the government. This money is collected from employers and held basically in trust for workers to pay their compensation and to pay for safety services. And as you remember, 2 weeks ago, we said, why doesn't WorkSafe pay for the protective equipment, the PPE?
Mm-hmm. That's where it started from.
Businesses can't afford it and they can't find it. So all these billions of dollars are sitting in the WorkSafe surplus. So that would be a very wise way to protect workers. And then Harry Bains felt obliged to say, oh, no, there is no surplus. They've lost $3 billion. Well, that was just not true, Harry. Why don't you admit you made a mistake, Harry Bains, and come out and tell the truth?
I think you're a little bit too harsh on him. He has said that he regrets this statement that caused confusion.
Well, that's actually not much of a clarification, is it? Because his management had to correct him on a Sunday afternoon because Harry made it up. So the point remains, they've got this $3 billion surplus, probably more like $4 billion now. Why don't they use it to buy protective equipment for workers? Why are they leaving workers exposed when they could be helping to prevent them from being ill?
Mm-hmm. Anything else in closing, Mr. Wilkinson, you'd like to say?
Well, we're at an interesting time because an awful lot of people are very worried. We've got 500,000 people unemployed in this province. And we would be more comforted if the Labour Minister, Harry Bains, would spend his time getting people back to work rather than making up stories about losing billions of dollars, which just aren't true.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another Red FM podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out our Red FM Canada YouTube channel. For further info, log on to our Red FM social media platforms or visit redfm.ca.